Australian shares are expected to start the day higher, tracking gains on Wall Street as investors considered the path laid out by the US Federal Reserve for interest rate hikes, while closely tracking Russia-Ukraine peace talks. Key points: the ASX 200 jumped to a one-month high on Thursday, gaining 1.1%. The ASX 200 jumped to a one-month high on Thursday, gaining 1.1%. Wall St indexes continued to climb after aggressive US Fed outlook. Wall St indexes continued to climb after aggressive US Fed outlook. Oil prices rose 8%. Gold was up for second straight session. At 7 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, ASX futures were up 31 points, or 0.4%, to 7,248. All three of Wall Street's major indexes closed higher, up more than 1%, on Thursday. Investors were reassured that Russia may, at least for now, have averted what would have been its first external bond default in a century. This was because creditors received payment, in dollars, of Russian bond coupons, which fell due this week, two market sources told on Thursday. That outcome added to risk appetites in a market that was benefiting from some bargain hunting. The Fed had raised interest rates by a quarter of a percentage point on Wednesday, as expected, and forecast an aggressive plan for further hikes, while policymakers also trimmed economic growth projections for the year. Russia's payment news and a breaking of technical decline lines to the upside in indices, including the S&P and the Nasdaq, all boosted stocks. According to Michael James, Managing Director of Equity Trading at Wedbush Securities, it's giving investors an increased level of cautious optimism, which is a change from the significant pessimism we've been experiencing since early January, Mr. James said. People have gotten more comfortable with the fact rates are going higher. This has been talked about, ad nauseum, by Fed Chairman Jerome Powell since early December. The fact there were no significant negative surprises in the Fed's plans coming out of the meeting, and Powell's commentary, gave people a sense that maybe we've seen as bad as it's going to get in the near term. Describing the Fed's plans as dovish, Phil Blancato, chief executive of Ladenburg Thalmann Asset Management in New York, also said the continuation of Russia-Ukraine peace talks helped the mood. What you're seeing today simply as a spillover effect from yesterday, Mr. Blancato said. There's a potential resolution for the conflict overseas, the positive effects of the Federal Reserve and stocks at a very fair entry point, providing an opportunity to add risk. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 1.23%, to 34,480.76. The S&P 500 gained 1.23% to 4,411.67, and the Nasdaq Composite added 1.33% to 13,614.78. BOE raises rates back to pre-pandemic level. European stocks also gained in choppy trading after the Fed's rate hike and a similar move by the Bank of England. The Bank of England raised interest rates again on Thursday in a bid to stop fast-rising inflation becoming entrenched, but it softened its language on the need for more increases, as households face a huge hit from soaring energy bills. 8 of the 9 Monetary Policy Committee members voted to raise bank rate to 0.75% from 0.5%, taking the benchmark for UK borrowing costs back to its pre-pandemic level. The British Central Bank has now raised rates at 3 consecutive meetings for the first time since 1997. The Pan-European Stoxx 600 index rose 0.5%, while MSCI's gauge of stocks across the globe gained 1.5%. Oil prices rose more than 8%, continuing a series of wild daily swings, as the market rebounded from several days of losses on renewed focus on supply shortages in coming weeks due to sanctions on Russia. By 7:15 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, benchmark Brent crude futures gained 8.7% to $106.7 a barrel. The Australian dollar was up at 73.78 US cents this morning. Gold rose 1% as the US dollar and Treasury yields retreated. Spot gold added 0.5% to stand at $1,937 an ounce by 7:14 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. ABC